What up, y'all? This is your boy Westside Willie, pilot of the Bebop, coming in. I'm just letting y'all know that we will be departing from Detroit very shortly. So everybody get in their seats, sit down, relax, and if there's any thickums on this flight, you're invited to the cockpit.
Bebop, got it on lock. Check your wristwatch. Tick-tock, time for lift off. You hear the stars calling. Baby, come and hold me tight. Cause the sky's falling in deep space, writing these jams. All I need is Jordan, don't look back. It's a price on your head, and they'll double that pay. If you alive, not dead. These cats is new to these scenes and new to these walls. And when the shots start firing, they start to look for the door. Baby, don't get too close. I'm a cowboy. Wake up and see that I'm gone, I'm where the stars going. One thing I can say about life is that it's not born. And one thing I can say about us, we'll never stop hunting. I'm with my day ones, double shot, messing with my third eye. Brody wanna tag along, well we need a fourth mic, I plead the fifth. If the feds start catching up in space so long, I'm getting used to us suiting up. I'm with my day ones, double shot, messing with my third eye. Brody wanna tag along, well we need a fourth mic, I plead the fifth. If the feds start catching up in space so long, I'm getting used to us suiting up.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to the Bebop Boys podcast, where we talk about movies, anime, comic books, all types of fly shit. Sometimes depressive episodes.
That was before the pod.
That's all.
That was pre-pod.
Pre-pod?
Pre-pod.
The pre-pod come?
Pre-pod. I like that word.
Pre-pod. Dick Doc. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Do a segment called pre-pod.
Pre-pod.
That'll be live. That'll be a live segment.
I say we go for what we talked about.
Dude, like he starts recording early. He is in Wes.
He.
And then we just have the B-roll. Just like get in there.
Sounds good to me. Yep. I like it. Yep. I like it.
You like it?
I think we just set up one of your guys' phones
See, I told you it's
on
not
the
sexy.
Bebop Instagram and just go on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that
not a
too.
bad idea.
Yeah. And Tic Tac Live.
Right.
We have to get 1,000.
But you can't go on both at once.
We
You
can't.
can.
You can. You have to download the app that connects the two.
Or you can
Oh.
just use two different phones.
Yeah.
No. I
was going to say, I'll just throw my phone in the mix.
phones.
You know who has two phones? Drug dealers.
Nice.
I never had two phones.
Kevin
Yes, I did.
Gates.
I was about to say, that's a phone.
Kevin Gates had two phones.
He had two phones.
I've only had one.
I was like, is that why you stopped? Because you had one phone, you got shit mixed up.
No. I stopped because my friends died.
Dark.
Anyway.
All my friends are dead.
Jesus Christ.
How's your guys' weekend?
The depression episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Right,
man.
let's bring it. Let's amp it
Also,
up.
there's an older song from back in the day about dead friends called All My Friends Are Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, my friend dead.
All my friends are dead.
I know that song because of you.
They got kicked in the head. All my friends are dead. I'm not going to name the band.
They died from getting kicked in the head.
Look, just
Weak ass friends.
actually, that's
to,
not that hard.
to get you got one shotted. All your friends got one shotted, bro. You had weak ass friends.
They were newborn babies. Sorry. Sorry. Anyway, I just feel like that's soft skulls. Anyway,
Soft spots.
yeah. Motherfuckers. Oof.
Anime style back.
No fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Substance style kicks.
Mortal Kombat.
Golly.
Fatality.
No, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that shortly.
So
The
ridiculous.
Substance movie.
Excited to hear what you guys say.
Anyway, you said weekends. How was your weekend or whatever
It was good.
leading up to this?
Very somber, macabre.
I work.
podcast
I finally
today.
am working. Kind of. I'm just siding with friends.
Good shit.
House. Yeah.
I never put you.
Do you
I
know
never.
what siding means in
I never
gay?
thought you'd be a. Why do you got a gay term for everything?
There's a term for everything.
Everything has a gay meaning.
Yeah, it does.
As it should.
As it should.
It's the world we live in.
Fucking woke.
Yeah. The straight thing of siding is what Matt does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That just means you're not a top or bottom or reverse. Like you don't do penetrative sex.
Oh.
So you don't have
You just out
sex?
there humming? You just out there meditating?
Not asexual. You just don't have penetrative sex. So
Smack
you
your butt like Matt.
you rub, you jerk off, you suck.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
I mean,
No.
through the mouth, but like,
No.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
it
yeah.
kinda
Mouth.
came-
Yeah. Mouth is.
but like you don't do. You do everything but.
I Oh, okay. Everything but butt.
Everything but.
See, I feel like that's the route I'd go.
Could you even be in a relationship with someone like that?
You can. If they're also
Oh,
the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, sex is sex.
If they're also
No, it's not.
You would have to be with somebody compatible.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, it's like again, there's so much.
that would be hard to. I feel like that would be hard to find.
I feel like I said, the text message, like I'm the token sex therapist. Like, there's so much shit you can do.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Pots, pans.
Imagine being asexual. How hard that would be to.
God, that's so
find someone.
depressing when I think about that shit.
Maybe there's a dating app for.
I think you would have to
asexual
be
people.
okay with your partner cheating.
Well,
If you
Or you just find
like,
another ace person.
Right. If you either find another asexual person or you just find someone who's fine with like, oh yeah, you can go fuck whoever you want. Just come home after. I don't know. Right now, the world, everyone's pretty open to a lot of things.
Everything has a thing
Honestly,
for a thing.
honestly, if you're asexual, I don't know how you could. I don't know how you could even have a relationship or consider a relationship with someone.
I mean, and just
unless-
because you're asexual doesn't mean you're
unless
not
you
having sex.
either date someone else who's asexual or you do what you just said, like let them go do what they
Yeah.
want to do. Because
Yeah.
like some people I've seen that like some people are repulsed by sex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
you
like,
gotta close your eyes.
Sex isn't when you're with the right person. Like sex doesn't really define the relationship.
Yep.
It's just a part of it. So I mean,
Intimate
I'm sure there
part
are
of it.
people where there's definitely people where like they can have the romantic aspect of the relationship without the sex part. But
And then there's
I don't
vice
know.
versa. There's people who are
Yeah.
aromantic.
Yeah. Green Arrow.
So annoying.
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Every single one of us is taking one.
I don't know what Blue Chew
Every-
is.
every
It's like
single
Viagra.
Every
Oh,
single
fuck.
one of us is taking a Blue Chew
I
right
think
now.
it is Viagra.
The
It
first
is
one to get hard loses.
Viagra.
Do you say the first one to get hard loses?
Yeah, we've all taken a Blue Chew. The first one to get hard loses.
How are you gonna know?
We'll know.
Find out.
First off, if you get hard and nobody knows, I'm sorry.
Like everybody starts sitting. Like,
If you get hard and nobody can see that you're hard, that's
Sorry.
That's on you. And there's nothing wrong with
wait,
that.
wait. If no one can see that you're hard,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Tiny
so-
penis.
Tiny penis.
Tiny penis.
Tiny penis.
What?
Anyways,
A micro penis at that point.
anyways,
Micro
back
penis.
to our regularly scheduled topics. The
yeah.
weekend. So you got a new job.
I can't
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're fighting
Friends, yes.
and not in the gay way.
Yeah, no.
You're
I'm not-
moving?
Yes.
How's that going? You're not scared of the heights?
Oh, I am. It was very fun getting up the first time and just like shaking
Oh no!
as I'm climbing, and they're just like, Matt, you got this, dude. And I'm
No,
just
I
like,
would
thanks.
Oh, that's good that they encourage you. Though.
Yeah, they're very
You can
supportive.
do it.
Oh, that's
They're
You're
very
lucky-
supportive.
You're lucky you're with friends because normal people on construction, they'll just
Dicks.
literally
Up your bitch
they'll
ass.
tear your whole self apart. Like they'll literally make you want to leave the job.
I
Just
can
jump.
I can imagine that because that's my main thing is that I'm like I like doing this because it's my friends.
Yeah.
Siding the job, it's whatever, but it's my friends. And that's it because they own the company, just them two. So there's no like boss, manager, this. And so if they're being assholes, we're just like fucking around. We're just like, you fuck up. And
Yeah.
it's funny. It's like in Arrested Development when, what's the Mike's brother's name that's like really close with the mom?
Oh, Buster.
Buster, when they had him like working at this construction site, and he's just sitting there working, and he's like, "I love it here. They call me names, and it's just so great." And the dude's walking by, and he's like, "Get back to work, dumbass." And he's like, "Dumbass."
He was just
Like-
happy to be included.
And that's I was like, it's like I love that. Like I'm just like with my friends, and knowing if they just come by and say "dumbass," I know they're not actually being a dick. They're just being funny about it. But if it was people I didn't know, then I'd be like, "Fuck you, I'm out." So. Yeah, it's fun.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you guys. Thank
I dealt with a lot of verbal abuse when I used to install cabinets.
How? Porque?
So I was
Installing cabinets, yo, at that.
I was the assistant to the installer, and the installer, like everybody usually in the construction industry of whatever you're
Had a
in.
lot of weird jobs over the years. Whenever you
Car
talk about
dealer,
old jobs,
porter.
like
Renovations, cabinet installer, picker at a warehouse, and then
Dandelion.
doing video, and then randomly picking up a job at a restaurant as a server and picking up a job at a pizza place as a fucking person that puts together salads and cooks boneless wings.
Would you say the people at the cabinet job, it was their egos that was like the biggest?
Well, they just
thing?
grew up, like, he was 10 years older than me, and people, like, it's just, that's how it is on those in those types of places when it's all men and it's like shit like that. They're just all assholes.
Yeah, that's how I felt about like with Geek Squad, where because that was the same situation where I had to start as a helper to the person, and they were older, and there's just an ego thing. Like it was just like with little technology stuff where I knew, like I would be like, oh, maybe we should like try this, and he'd be like, how long have you been working here? Like, fucking like get the fuck out of here.
Answer the fucking question.
For real.
There's some validity to that, I think, because like even when I was doing security, I liked my director, but like when I got promoted to be like the assistant director, there were times where like you could tell that it was like them trying to keep you in your place type of thing. And it's just like, and like me and him actually got into it because as all of you know, I am not the one.
No.
And one time he said something and like I was trying to, there was like two employees that were arguing, and I was trying to like settle the argument. Like I was trying to find a solution. Mind you, they fucking came to me about it.
Nice.
And like, so I was trying to solve it or something like that. And then he stepped in and kind of just like tried to like push me to the side about what I was saying. And I was like, no, that doesn't even fucking make sense. Why would we do that? And then he was like I'll say what happens. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, fuck you. I walked out. But like, it was like, he ended up saying like, oh, that was, I don't mind things like that. I don't like having yes men around me. I was like, but
Jesus
regardless,
Christ.
like I noticed that. And then that was also like part of the reason why I realized that I don't like working for people.
Yeah.
Like, cause I don't like when you work for someone, you have to go with what they say no matter what. Like, like if you're under them, they tell you what to do and you got to do it, even if they're wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
100%.
Even if they're wrong. Like, bro, one time when I was there, this is like part of what started to bother me about this shit. We had a situation where like one of our people, like a guard, got into it with the manager of a store, and like they were like arguing, and they were like about to fight because the manager of the store just started cussing at this nigga for some reason. I don't even know why. Like he's just like, man, fuck you, like whatever. And mind you, like the guards were working with the police, like so he was like they walk with you on the weekends and like that kind of shit. So they're there to respond, and he started cutting up like even with the officers there. So then he was like he's like, fuck you, blah, 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 went to go fight, and the cops had to stop him and all that shit. So the three of us, like directors, had to figure out what to do about him. And the main director said like, oh, we'll just send him back to training. Like he needs to start all over and blah, blah, blah. Like the dude's been here for 3 months. And I was like, that seems a little excessive. Like the other guy started it, and like there's other stuff we can do, but that is like the most extreme thing. And then so he said like, no, that's what we're going to do and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right. But the problem with that is that like a week later, it might've been a week before, the director himself almost got into a fight with an officer who quit. Because like the officer was being disrespectful, and he like threw his shit at him and like walked out, and he like walked up and like confronted him and shit.
So he got in the fight as the other guy was quitting, or this was after he quit.
It was as he was quitting or some shit like that. So you just did the same thing that you said you were going to send that guy back to training for, but you're the boss. And everyone knows. Like I don't like shit like that, because like that you're making
Do as I say, not as I do.
exactly.
Mentality.
Like,
yeah.
and you can't do that. That's not how anything works.
It's called being a boss, not a leader.
Ooh.
Bars.
It's not even being a boss.
I said that to my boss. He thought I was getting all my quotes from Facebook. Yeah.
I smoke. I smoke hookah.
People just
We can tell.
The heart attack is happening.
people just like having like power over people, and
Yeah.
it gets to their head. Like
Power.
Even if they're making
That's how I feel.
$16 an
I
hour.
do
for
not.
real.
Yeah, I don't like
In both my jobs, like I need more money right now, and I'm gonna have to promote myself and like start sucking dick, and I hate, figuratively, through the corporate ladder.
Oh, okay. Whoo.
Can't do
I was about
it.
to say OnlyFans coming to
Girl,
coming
I'm
from
thinking
Antonio.
about it. I am
Oh, I so would.
putting this pussy online. Okay.
I love having a gay friend.
Because the bitch is so tired. But yeah, because like I'm just tired. Like I make okay money, but I need more money.
More.
I need more to be comfortable. Like I was telling Kylie Minogue tickets, and like it took me 3 hours to pull the trigger to buy these concert tickets for my favorite artist, who the last time she toured America was 2011.
God damn.
Where's she from?
Australia.
I graduated that year.
Oh, wow.
She's just an international artist, and you know she does have only gay people like her here. Everywhere else, she's like the UK, the Australia Madonna. Everywhere else, she's famous, just not as big here. But you know, and she rarely comes to America when she does tour. So I'm like, I got to do it, because I was 18, 19 when the last tour happened, and I couldn't afford it. So I'm like, okay, I got to make. And it took me so long to pull that trigger, guys.
How much were the tickets?
It was like I got nosebleeds, so I couldn't even like have a full experience because I got nosebleeds.
Damn.
Because I was like, I just want to go, just to have the experience.
In Chicago?
Yeah. But yeah, so like so then I was talking about, I was like, I'm gonna have to start making it do what I do, even though I work 2 jobs, sometimes 3 if I DoorDash. But I'm like, I gotta start, because like I can't enjoy how hard I work without doing something. So I'm gonna have to start selling pussy. When I mean pussy, I mean the soul.
Yep.
And selling my soul in corporate America and not be comfortable no more. So either I'm gonna be somebody's barista boss or somebody's boss in healthcare, and I hate it.
Back
Because I just want to work.
depression.
Like I just want to work and go home and like clock out and not think about that shit. Get tired of I have enough shit to worry about outside of work. I don't want to have to have work be another fucking worry.
Yeah.
Nah, no, I leave work at work.
No, I can't.
I tell them
really.
that every day too. I tell
Nah,
them when I
when you're
clock out,
fucking-
none of y'all matter to me.
When you're a boss,
Or I'm gonna be a boss on this OnlyFans.
that's
Cam
couldn't-
girl.
That's why they couldn't let me be a boss, because I let them know. Don't email me. Don't call me. If there's an emergency outside of this, you are sinking or swimming.
And like I have a good like in Central Off and Henry Ford. I do I have some. I'm not a boss, but like I have some like little power. Like I get to yell at doctors. I'm like, finish your notes. Why are your notes not done? Like I get to talk back a little shit, and like but if I was to promote myself or get promoted or do something higher, I have to like watch how I speak a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I like being free.
don't do it, bro.
I like being a gypsy woman.
Don't sell your soul.
She's homeless.
Hey, look,
Da da dee da
look
da
at
da.
your boy stepped down. I get paid more now.
Yeah. They pay you more than
They
that
paid
now.
me more.
Maybe I should come be an eyeglass representative.
It's so easy.
Are you guys hiring in your department?
We
We work for the same company, by the way.
Not in my department because we're dispensers.
Da da dee.
But dispensers in other stores are hiring. You get paid a lot of money as a dispenser.
Don't tip me. But I work from home.
You work from home, you could go. We got the 14 in Gratiot location.
And then I'm at
I know the manager there. I can get you in.
Starbucks, who makes me want to kill myself.
Yeah, don't. You know, what are you gonna do? Do landscaping. I used to do landscaping. That's just lit.
Girl,
Yeah.
I used to do landscaping. It was
no
fun.
fucking landscaping.
this body is not built to be pushing nobody's lawn.
No,
mower.
I didn't mow lawns. I installed sprinkling systems.
I'm not doing
I laid mulch.
I am a
gravel.
princess. I want to just sit down and type on keyboards.
I loved it. I loved it.
Get one of those fucking insurance call
did
and
that.
just-
Yeah.
I used to work for Blue Cross Blue
Be
Shield.
a sex phone operator.
Fuck that.
You can just sit at home.
That's all I do. That's what I do now. I sit at home. I watch the Scream movies back to back to back. Right now, I'm going through the Charmed movies.
the
The
old
Charmed
ones?
TV show. Huh?
The old screams?
I like all of them in different ways.
What's your favorite scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Ooh,
Um,
that's a good one.
So I liked
Probably Hereditary.
I liked Hereditary. Midsommar was
Could
okay.
you imagine if you get the phone call? That's what
Don't-
happened.
bro,
What was
don't
that,
get the phone
Scream
call with me.
5? She said, I don't. The girl in Scream 5, she was like, I don't really like scary movies. I like elevated horror. Hereditary. Like she said, she brought up Hereditary, Midsommar, the Babadook. The Babadook is my favorite, and he beat. What's her name? The girl who plays Wednesday.
Oh,
Jenna Ortega.
She gets sliced and diced, bro. It's like they
Damn.
fuck her up. She's a fucking voodoo doll. by the end of the movie, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah,
Someone's having a little fit over there, but it's okay.
I see. Speaking of going crazy,
Don't-
I saw Joker Folie à Deux. Folie à Deux.
Yeah.
hey,
That was my weekend.
no French accent.
Folie à Deux.
No French accent.
Man.
It wasn't
Joker
that bad.
2. Okay, yeah. Give us your full review, but without maybe spoilers. I don't know. I can't fucking tell.
Spoiler alert. Who cares? No one wants
Yeah.
to see this.
Yeah,
Actually,
spoil
yeah,
it.
go ahead, spoil
It's
it.
not
gonna
watch
see
it.
it.
Never mind.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna see
spoil it.
That's racist, Matt.
Maybe I like being racist.
I can tell, Trumper.
Oh, bro, don't leak my vote.
You know what I realized?
Don't leak my vote.
Right, he already did his he did an absentee ballot. He just wrote Trump in red crayon. Right. No, it was crayon. It was a dull crayon that's like been broken.
Half chewed on.
Yeah. It's swamp.
You guys remember those crayons? I think they were made by Crayola. They were plastic casing and they had
Oh,
a
God,
knob
yes.
on the bottom. And
Fucking
they basically
hated those.
looked like a fucking
I had
colored
those.
pencil. I still have some too.
have
but-
some
Hated
Fucking
those.
dumb.
When I get stressed out,
Those
I
are
color.
so
That's how I
stupid.
decompress.
Oh, that's a
And
good
I have
idea.
those.
You know what?
Yeah, the colors just weren't good to me.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
as vibrant. They're
Trash. Trash. Side note, I realized something over the weekend. Actually, what's today?
not. Wednesday.
I don't know when I realized it. It was recent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the epiphany.
Nobody hates Trump more than white people. White people hate him the most. Like, I don't.
Yeah, if they disagree with him,
Like,
they disagree.
Pretense, though, what I will say, white people hate everything. Everything. It's always
Yeah,
white people.
that's real.
It's always
When white people hate, they put their all into it.
Yeah, like-
I don't know if
sure.
you noticed.
Lay that shit down.
I don't know if you noticed from
Yeah,
things like,
like-
slavery and the
No-
Holocaust.
right, there's no indifference.
9/11.
There's never like a
yeah. When they hate,
it's
that's
like
the one.
this.
fuck that guy.
Fuck this.
I love him so much. Like I worked with a lady who during the first round of Donald Trump, and she was like, she called him Donnie, like she knew this nigga. I'm so proud of my Donnie.
Donnie.
Doing it. Oh
Look.
my god.
Look. All I'm gonna say is,
Yes. Y'all should see what.
all I'm gonna say is, you can tell because white people are usually the only people with road rage follow through. Like they'll chase you down.
This morning, this morning I was driving, whatever, we'll say north, and there was these cars driving south, and like one was turning, and I noticed the one that was turning because it looked like she was waving, and then I looked at the car she was waving at, and the girl was like this, and she didn't even look straight, and then I realized they were flipping each other off. I was like, bro, it's fucking 8:30 in the morning. God damn. Yeah, niggas be fighting. I'm sorry. Anyway,
Yeah.
Crazy Joker.
Yeah.
Lady
Joker.
Gaga.
I'm gonna start with the good. Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix, they do it. They do what they're supposed to do. They play what they're supposed to play well. Joaquin, he jumped right into that role for Joker. His music, his singing wasn't that bad. The big grander set pieces of music was good or whatever. It was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed the first one. Gaga was a good. Gaga does what she. She's Gaga. She's good at what she does, bro. That singing was good. Lee was It was if you take it out of the context of her supposed to be Harley,
Yeah.
she does fine. She does good. So yeah, excuse me, I don't know if it was some parts are supposed to be funny outside of him, because he is the Joker, but there were certain sequences outside of him that was funny or that was more interesting. Zazie Beetz returns. Spoiler alert.
She's in there?
Yeah, she's back. So,
I thought she wasn't going to be in there.
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah, I was about to say she wasn't in Deadpool 3.
Oh, maybe I mixed it up. My bad.
So, but she doesn't have like a grandiose scene, but so this is a court case trial movie. So her fate is, left undetermined in the first one, so we find out she survives. And her breakdown of their relationship is the funniest shit. It is hilarious. And that's where for me it picked up. After her testimony, it just fucking flies off the handles for me and I loved it. So yeah, it was those were some of the good parts. The bad. The bad. The musical aspects of it. So like I said, there's like 3 or 4 bigger set pieces. Like the budget's pretty big, right? Yeah. And you would think there would be like grandiose music scenes. All the music scenes, the bigger set pieces of the music scenes were like Sonny and Cher type of energy, and which is not bad. They're good. They're very good scenes, actually. But I expected more because aside from that, all the music scenes go according to this. I'm having a conversation with you, me and you, and I'm going to talk about his hat being orange. Okay. So he has an orange hat with words on it, right?
Yes.
I can't believe he has an orange hat on.
Orange hat.
He has an orange hat.
An orange hat.
It covers his very long hair.
His head as well, just the top part.
He has a very rectangular shaped head.
It looks good to me, though, and I like his mustache and goatee, though.
I love his 2 piercings on his nose.
And the earrings that twinkle when the
and
light
I wish
hits them right.
I can do that vibe.
We can if we try.
That is the music in Joker.
Okay.
15 songs are like that. Everything. Yeah, like that's all the music is.
Yeah,
that's literally the music in Joker.
So it makes sense.
Aside from like the 3 or 4 set pieces of that are bigger and they're like dancing and having like a full musical breakdown.
Yeah. That makes sense why they said it's not technically a musical.
It's not.
They're just like they're really psychotic.
They're crazy. They're just. Calling it a musical was a stretch. Calling it a musical was a stretch. There's a couple supporting characters that don't get fleshed out. His attorney, Joker, Arthur's attorney, she is a pretty big deal, and you can tell she's trying to really separate. She's really trying to fight for him, and you don't know why. Maybe she just believes. Maybe she's just a good person. No, she's like a court-appointed attorney. Like they don't get paid shit.
She ain't getting paid at all.
She's on his side.
But she's trying to prove something. She's trying to get paid for this shit.
You're not well, Arthur. Stop trying to convince them to be. You're the Joker. Like stop. So I would like to know why she was so passionate. Aside from because like you can't be getting paid well in Gotham to do that type of job. Harvey Dent's in it. Aside from him being pretty, you wouldn't know it's Dent. Aside from there's a big explosion scene and he gets blown in the face. Pause. Giggity. and then you're like, oh, that's him.
Pause, dog.
That's him. But aside from him just being a pretty nigga, you couldn't tell. He's not that aggressive that we usually know Harvey Dent to be. He's a little sassy, but like that's it. Again, more development on certain characters. Gaga as Lee is probably my biggest gripe. Because as Lee, she does fine. But marketing her as Harley was is disrespectful to me as for the character Harley. So essentially the girl Lee is a mix of what's her name? Not Payback. What's her name? The new Punchline. She's a mix of Punchline and Harley, and by a little bit. She's Punchline in the sense that she's manipulative and scheming. That's it. She's Harley in the sense that she's a psychiatrist. That's it. Aside from those two instances of Joker's like sidekicks he's had at one point, she's not Harley. She's not Punchline, and marketing her as such was a disservice. And I think a lot of people who did go watch it were going to see Harley Quinn as, Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn doing no accent. And like, so they wanted to get rid of the Brooklyn accent. The bitch is from the Upper West Side, so she would have a New York accent.
Yeah.
They said that like she's from the Upper West Side. Well, Gotham is essentially New York, but she's from the Upper West Side. Okay, and they took away her accent. Come on, bro. So yeah, marketing Gaga as Harley was a misstep for me. And did I say the music already? Like how the music was marketed as a musical was a pretty best thing. So yeah. Is it bad? No. I've seen bad movies. We've had some bad movies over the last few years. Morbius.
Wrong Turn.
Morbius.
Ant-Man 3.
What's the spider bitches?
Madam Web.
Oh.
Madam Web. We've seen some bad movies. And again, this goes back to the constant conversation I say about media literacy. What are y'all talking about? Stop. Is your expectations gone? Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Because we were hyped. We saw that smile on the screen.
Yeah.
We were like, that shit is hard.
It was a fire ass scene. I think
That was actually a good part, actually. But again, that scene, it was like,
that.
I see you write the smile on
I would be annoyed.
window.
I would be annoyed. I don't know. I think the issue with it is that a lot of people going into the movie wanted Joker 1 shit. And what I'm hearing and from everybody is Joker 2 is shitting on Joker 1.
It kind of does, that, like, in a way.
Yeah. So I think that's why people are saying that it's a terrible movie, because you're going in as for those people who take the Joker 1 as this is the Joker. Bible, yeah. I love psychotic people who murder. This is great, and not taking it as like mental health is an issue and we should probably check on it.
So that's a couple things on it. They touch on the conversation like, hey, so like his attorney is like, he needs help. This is someone who was not in control of their own actions due to their mental instability. There's people like that, and then there's the fanboys who Harley is a representation, and the fanboys, they are Harley is a representative of that. They have a spoiler alert. They have a movie in the movie about the Joker, and he said what he hasn't seen it. Arthur hasn't seen it. He's like, is it good? Harley's like, yeah, it's one of the best movies ever seen. Zazie Beetz character said that movie was ass, and he looked at Harley. He said, you told me it was amazing. She said, like, shit like that. But they're really, they touch on, how, yes, the Joker was supposed to represent something bigger. And yeah, you got to get the sense that the Joker is, this is a mantle, no longer who is a person. But you get somehow how he affected people. And I think that's when that's where the heart of the film is, when you realize that these guys are rooting for a murderer. And I'm honestly, the Joker movie was like not, the first Joker movie was about not, it was a conversation on mental health, but people took that as like justification on being wild, crazy, what's the word? Erratic, chaotic, anarchic, and is that a word?
Antarctic?
And no, like
and like
Like anarchy.
Yeah,
Anarchy. Oh, I was about to say,
Anarchists.
I was like, hold on.
anarchists. And so this film shows, and again, I think people are taking it out of context. They show what he's done. You killed 6 people, my nigga, and like 3 of them may have deserved it. 3 deserved it. So what? The other 3 didn't deserve it. Your mom, a shitty person. She was already on death's door, so 4 people may have deserved it.
Yeah,
She
4.
let my man's
4.
She let
people may
her
have deserved
boyfriend beat the shit out of him. And
4.
yeah,
4 people may have deserved it. So they even like said that like he killed 5 people. He was like there's shit. Like, there's moments in this that like I don't understand what people take from that. It's a bad. There's good movie. There's good and there's bad and then there's meh. And I would say the Joker is a man movie overall. I think they could. I think people are just disappointed because they thought they were gonna get a grandiose ass musical, which what I was expecting. And that's what it's kind of boner killed it for me. B, getting a trial showing that he's just crazy and gay crazy, and they didn't get that because in a time of people like Donald Trump, weird people want to belong somewhere, I feel. And I think this movie is one of those. Joker 1 was one of those movies where people felt like they were being heard. Those type of people felt like they were being heard.
Yeah.
And now this movie, and even the movie with the stuff within the movie, checks that. Like, hey, you are rooting for someone that you should not be rooting for.
Yeah.
And that's been my problem with the Joker movie from jump. Like that message, personally, and maybe that's probably why I have an indifferent feeling about it, because it goes down the route I was that I've been feeling about the Joker from jump. The Joker movie should not have been made, the first one, because they're rooting for a person, even if it is a conversation on mental illness. In the comics, we don't know if Joker is mentally ill. He could be doing this shit on his own volition. That was never been canon or anything like that. I don't think that's ever been a conversation.
Well, that's where I come in.
Harley
and I tell you,
is the mentally ill one.
They're just using their names to sell the movie. That's all it is.
But that's all it is. It's just Taxi Driver with superheroes.
That's
with superhero characters.
That's what I was going to bring up. Was the main thing that I saw was the director actually came out and said that he did not make these with the intention of DC and Joker, and that Joker's just Arthur, and Harley Quinn, throwing all that out the window. And then that makes me kind of look at it differently, where I would compare it to maybe like American Psycho, with Christian Bale. That now people still do put him on a
pedestal.
They do fantasize about him, be like, oh, that's the alpha male, I want to be him. But
he was so hot.
It's a horror movie that is strictly promoted as this guy's crazy, he's a fucking maniac,
but you're still
killer,
not supposed to root for him.
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
And you're not supposed to root for him.
Oh, even in the movie, there's nothing about him that's like
redeeming.
Not
at all. And they try to make
except those business cards.
Yeah. But in Joker and Joker 2 in particular,
real quick, just the whole point of the American Psycho thing is if they made these not as Joker movies, but as a horror movie or a psychotic thriller,
it would be a different conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
But
the fact that it's Joker, if you watch
they
anything villain,
something.
Yeah, if you watch anything villain wise, Penguin, Joker, you're not trying to be like, oh, I want to like this guy, I want to be on his side, but there has to be some kind of there has to be something where you're like, I want to see this guy go through. And so when you watch the Joker 1, you have that thing in the back of your head where you're like, I do want to see him go crazy and kill people because it's the Joker.
Because it's the Joker.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to be like, yeah, the Joker was right.
Yes.
What the fuck? No.
Yeah.
But I will say, I do like the ending. I know the ending. People are like mad about the ending. I kind of fuck with it. I fuck with it hard.
I think it's pretty good ending.
Because like the guy who,
I think you're talking about Joker 2.
Joker 2.
Yes.
The ending of Joker 2.
Yeah,
so you guys have all seen the ending, right?
Yes, I know of it.
It's kind of dope because the guy who tells the joke does it in a Heath Ledger's accent. And yeah, it's kind of dope. And it kind of puts you in the mind like this maybe was a prequel to The Dark Knight, maybe. And it was just like, I get it. And then like the last song of like, cause like the
well, it couldn't be the prequel because of Harvey Dent. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That literally right there. Because I've seen other people
I was
point that
thinking
out.
Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
But so and like the punchline of the joke is, what was the fucking point? And then they play this song called That's Live. Cause like, what the fuck was the point? And I was like, yeah, what's the fuck was like, fuck it. Yeah, that's fucking dope. Certain stuff, you know, it hit or miss. It's like the rape scene. Didn't see that coming, but it is prison. He did talk shit to the prisoners. To the prison guards who were his friend. Like he was cool with the prison guards, like as much as he could be, and he talked shit about them on TV. So like, not to justify rape, but saw that coming. Yeah. Saw the brutality coming. I will say that.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I saw the brutality. Like, I don't justify rape at all. No.
Yeah,
but
it's like
saw
same
the
thing for
brutality
Halloween.
coming because the nigga was talking about. You were talking about the people who kind of are your friends, but you're kind of locked up on TV. I'm beating your ass too. I'm not gonna rape you, but I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
So again, there's good, there's bad, there's nerdy, there's mid, this was
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
What would you rate it out of 10?
A 5.
Okay.
Wow.
5-6.
Yeah, no, 5 is perfect. That's just like right. Yeah,
it's okay. It wasn't. Is it this clusterfuck that people are making out to be? Absolutely not. The hyperbole of this shit is out of control.
Yeah, that's really just based off the expectation.
It's literally just
I
based
would
off
say
literally
that I saw somebody.
Because no, it's fine. I've talked enough. It's just like no.
I saw pretty much like people were trying to say, "Oh, now bring back Morbius because it can't get any worse than Joker 2." And
bro,
and then
don't do it.
and one of my friends who he's not huge into. I don't know if he even watched the first Joker. I don't know if he's into Marvel movies like that. But he just saw Joker 2 recently, and he was just like, "Yeah, I liked it." And it's just like, "Oh,
that's how it is." If you want to see Harley do some shit, if you went to this to expect some Harley shit, watch Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Well, the thing about the fucking
Dark Knight, right? If you want to see some Joker shit,
with this, like from everything that I've heard about it, it sounds like what that guy said in that video that you sent was right. Like it sounds like they did this on purpose to like kind of course correct. The only problem that I would have with that is that when I was watching that and he started talking about what he was saying, what the director was saying about he didn't want to make a second movie. He didn't want to like whatever, like, so he's self-sabotaging basically, and all this shit is the using the names thing. Like, why would you even touch this? You know that there is no way that you're getting out of making a second one if you even go into this realm. Like, if you go into the DC realm, like, why would you even do that?
Warner Brothers like, in particular.
Like there's no, especially during this time period, bro, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And so, to what you guys were saying earlier, I think the problem with, like, it kind of touches on what we were talking about last week, but like with the Joker, it's not really a problem, but like everybody, like, we all watch anime.
I do.
The thing about anime, or like read manga, the villains in most anime and manga are different from most comic books because they show you how they got to be that way. Like, whether you sympathize with them or under, like, a lot of times I'm hearing, I'm like, I kind of get that. I see what you're saying. Like, you can't do that, but I feel you.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're doing. Like with the Joker, with like these serial killer shows and like all kinds of shit, they're generally, up until like recently, they only showed you that the monster. Like, they don't touch on how this person got to be that way.
Want a sympathy, I guess,
but like, but it's nothing. Like, it is. You're not doing anything by saying what led up to this point. Like
Yeah.
this nigga's life was 1950 to 1990. He did some bad shit from 1978 to 1988. And we're just going to ignore everything from 1950 to 1978. Like, the shit that happened there, if you say it, that doesn't mean you're sympathizing with him. That just means you're telling the whole story.
Yeah.
But when you tell the whole story, there are people that are going to sympathize with it, because there are people that are going to be like, oh, well, obviously that's why he turned into that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so like, bro, but the problem with that is that like, that never justifies what the fucking person does for the most part. Like, for the most part, because some people are like not saying it justifies it, but like with Aaron Hernandez, like, bro, if you have a disease that's deteriorating your brain,
Understandable.
like,
and you can,
somebody should have got you away.
and
like,
the sympathy for like someone like Aaron Hernandez is understandable. You know, his brain was deteriorating. He had a lot of pressure on him, blah, 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 blah. However, then there's niggas like yeah, or the Menendez brothers,
Oh, yeah, that too.
who were just spoiled brats, allegedly, and killed their
well,
parents.
my mom said that she was paying attention during the time that this actually happened, and everything that they're claiming was what they were claiming back then, but it's just not like, no one believed them. And then that was also a different time. Like
the Kardashians trying to get them out.
But like Seja also told me that like she was reading up on it, and the judge, she was reading that the judge intentionally sabotaged her case.
Oh, really?
So that is concerning.
No.
Like he wouldn't let their family members testify or their friends testify, and their family and friends were the ones that were
rooting
like
for them.
saying like, no, we like, yes, this happened. Apparently their cousin, so they're supposed to be getting a retrial.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian's helping.
Because their cousin, like when their cousin died, they found a letter that one of them wrote detailing the abuse when he was a kid.
Oh shit.
And apparently that cousin was in the Leotos.
Oh shit.
So I didn't even fucking know that. But regardless, like all that was to say, like, bro, everybody has a fucking story. Like, yes,
Yeah.
like yes, they have a reason for doing what they're doing. Like,
Yeah.
like that's like most people that have touched children were touched as children.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
but not everybody who
Right.
gets touched as a child touches other children. Like,
Right.
that's not, or like, bro, Ted Bundy found out that his sister was his mom.
Yeah.
And like, so that fucked him up. Like,
Which, I mean, is that really, anyway?
is that, but like,
Is
whatever.
it really that bad though?
Like, is it
you were raised by your grandparents and they loved you.
I mean, it's different for everybody.
Everyone's trigger is
Everyone
different.
gets affected in different ways, but like at the end of the day, bro, like everyone has a story. That doesn't mean that.
Yeah, I would say comparing it like how you compared to anime is every anime that has, or even just comic books in general, that has that villain. Usually the hero is supposed to be the contrast of the heroes going through the same shit but not turning out that way, like Optimus and Megatron. Like that is the perfect example of they're both going through the same shit. They both are going through the same troubles, the same
Megatron's a
tribulations,
bitch ass nigga.
but one person wanted to go one way and one
Said
person
the
wanted to the
exact
other way.
same thing. I would, in anime, for the people who don't watch Transformers, anime wise, that's Naruto and Obito, or Naruto and Pain.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
just literally
Yep.
literally the same path, just different.
And that's
Different
actually like just a segue, just random off topic. That's why I love Berserk so much, is because the contrast is you have Griffith and Guts. Everything Griffith is going through and doing is as a hero. Like, other than the little shit that nobody knows about, he's just like out there as a hero. While what Guts is doing and what he's going through is like the most awful, horrible, disgusting shit that would make that man turn into awful evilness, while what Griffiths is going through should make him a good, clean, noble man, but he's choosing evil because he's getting up there. Well, it's shit like that where when you try to make it into a movie of like stuff that's going on in real life and not just anime and cartoons and powers and shit like that, and making it about mental health, then it's actually important about what you are saying. And then if you're dramatizing the stuff, because that's another thing where if you're telling the story of what happened about with serial killers,
That's one
do
thing.
not be dramatic about it and make them seem cooler than it was. No, tell it how it actually was.
I think
because
that's been
then
my
people,
problem with-
then people will be like, "Whoa!"
I was
wait
talking
a
about that
minute.
last week. How like Ryan Murphy is overly sexualizing the Menendez brothers and Aaron Hernandez stories.
Yeah,
I
like
heard
how would
that
you
from
know
Aaron
that?
Hernandez.
Yeah, how
Like-
would you
like,
know?
how
You
would you
weird ass
know that?
nigga.
Yeah, I heard.
And
about
then-
However,
stuff.
I will say on top, the problem with Joker though, on that, like, yeah, on these stories that you understand the journey of the villain, but the problem is Joker's journey doesn't make him the hero of his story.
Yes.
Joker is not the hero in any situation. You know,
And
even the
way to
one
put
bad day situation and the killing joke.
You know what? I
You know,
I
that's
think you
what's
guys all
proven.
proved my point from a very long time ago, where I said I don't like how they changed Thanos' story
Yeah,
to make
that's
him
another
sympathetic.
reason. Yeah,
Because in the comic books,
he just wants to
he's
fuck
one
that.
of the villains that's not sympathetic. Because like
Yeah.
you got Doctor Doom,
Sometimes you just
who's
don't
kind
need.
of like
Yes.
whatever. You got Magneto, sympathetic, of course. You've got Loki, who was adopted and mistreated by his dad,
Yeah.
yada yada yada. But you have Thanos, who was born and immediately started being a hater as soon as he was born. He was like, he's like, I'm gonna fuck up everybody on this planet, just so you guys know. Don't let me live. And they let that motherfucker live, and he was like, all right, time to kill. Then killed everybody on the planet just because he was like, I don't like you guys.
And so
Like
that's
there was
a
no
great point.
sympathy with him, and then they brought him sympathy
Yeah,
where we actually had a genuine villain who was a villain because they were just a dick. And I like that.
I do.
I do too. And,
Me
and
too.
like, and
I don't
to
want to feel bad
Joker-
for you.
To Joker's point, if they wanted to create a movie and create have a backstory or a sympathy route, or create like a villain story in the vein of villains movie list, like in the vein of what Sony's doing right now, all of DC's villains, minus the Joker, literally falls into that category. Mr. Freeze, Catwoman, Scarecrow to an extent. There's Killer Croc. There's plenty of villains that have sympathetic stories that are the heroes of their own story to an extent. Deadshot. There's all these villains that DC, Batman adjacent villains. Deathstroke. I can keep going. See, it just pops when I talk. That these DC adjacent villains are sympathetic villains to an extent. Everyone literally except the fucking Joker. So
Yeah, good point.
if you even wanted to have that type of story be told, you could have used Harley. Anyone else except the fucking Joker. So yeah, I'm not surprised Todd Phillips wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit because like, damn, look what we did.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for like the incels and all the people that rallied behind him thinking he was a hero, would you feel that way about the movie?
No, because because I've said Joker, like I've just said, Joker, the movie should never been created. Because if it was just like a Joker, like a Michael Myers type of situation, it's just a nigga going on a killing spree and a horror movie, it's a different story.
Yep.
Do that shit. I will be so down for that shit. It's not even funny. But to have like, the Joker is not supposed to be a sympathetic villain. He is the big bad of the DC universe. In the Injustice universe, this nigga goes after Superman and kills Lois Lane and her unpregnant child just because he was bored fighting Batman.
He tricked Superman into doing it.
Yeah, he tricked Superman into killing. He's still his fault.
No,
It's still Joker's fault.
it's actually more evil.
Yeah, it's more evil
that
than-
way.
yeah,
because he didn't do it.
He tricked Superman.
He tricked the person who loved them the most.
He tricked Superman into killing Lois Lane and their unpregnant baby simply because he was bored.
And then after Superman, knowing Superman would kill him, and Nuke goes off in Metropolis, killing everybody there.
Killing everybody there. So literally just because he was bored, he killed baby Superman, Lois Lane, and his whole city. And then in the alternate universe of that, when Joker was like, that was fun. I might do that myself one day with his alternate Joker plan. He's like, that sounds fun. Batman just kills him. He's like, no, I'm not doing this. Because the Joker is literally just a shits and giggles type of nigga. Like, there is no honor with this guy. There's no
He's a dick.
He's a dick. He's just a dick.
Yeah,
and
so-
whether he could be mentally ill
Yeah.
or whatever. So will I feel differently about it? No, because the Joker in the vein they created it should not have exist. If you just wanted to, like I said, if you just want to create a horror movie, you just want to have Joker
It should have just
killing
been
people,
a thriller without the name of Joker.
Yeah.
Should have just been
that would have been fun.
marketed as something else.
That would've been
honestly,
fun.
Yeah.
and it's. I mean, yeah.
I
A lot of
just-
the people are comparing it to the Penguin, and they're like, "Oh,
No.
but the Penguin is completely different." Because trust me,
Again, the Penguin is a
you don't
sympathetic-
like the Penguin.
You don't-
well, you like the Penguin, but you're not like rooting for the Penguin.
No, yeah.
You're more so like, how
Yeah.
the fuck is he gonna
So
get out
let's
of this?
discuss that. Like, in the comparison to the two, we have two villain stories being out right now, right? And while we are rooting for Oz, Oz is the hero of
For
his.
Vic.
Vic is gonna die so hard. We're poor Vic, poor baby.
Yeah.
But so we're seeing the rise of the Joker, right?
Yeah, Penguin.
And this Penguin, I'm sorry, and this is a slightly different Penguin, slightly,
yeah,
but
a poor Penguin.
we see. We're like, yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
Do it. You know what I'm saying? And you can root for the villain doing villain shit. Like he's still killing people. He killed Alberto simply because he made fun of him.
Yeah. Well, I think
And it was like, fuck.
I think where it's different and where it makes more sense is because you're rooting for someone who is the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah.
Because they're both
yeah,
evil.
great way to put it.
Yes.
So you're voting for the one, not voting, but you're rooting for the one that's the lesser of the two evils. And it's like a lot more people can relate with Penguin because, and like I don't know who I was talking to, but I was like, you know, the people that he's going up against have been in power because they were born into it.
Yeah.
They didn't earn where
Yes.
they're at. While this motherfucker has been working his ass. That's why he's so quick on his feet with every situation he's in, because he's already been in that situation, or
numerous
he's
times.
already played it in his head. Like,
Yeah.
hey, if this shit goes down,
Like when he
this is how I'm
planted
about to get out.
Homeboy last week.
Everything, bro.
Yeah.
In every single episode, when he got caught in the episode fucking one.
Yeah, we got
When
caught.
old girl was like, "How do you know my brother's playing about the drugs?" And he's like, He told me about it. You know, he didn't tell me you were here. He's playing both of us. So when we see Alberto, we got to talk to him about it. And it's like, dog, he thought of it right there at dinner because she called him out at dinner. And he was just like, he didn't tell me you were in town. He's hiding stuff from both of us.
And then you get to see in contrast.
And now he's taking
to
over the
Sophia-
partnership with the drug thing.
You see it.
So,
like, yeah, it's very.
You know he's a dick. You know he's going to
and
do
he's
some
still a
nasty
villain.
shit.
And he's still going to be in a villainous role. Yeah. But we can root for his story to an extent.
Yeah.
Whereas Joker don't have that fucking journey. And stop making Joker.
And
stop
it's not
making some of
it's
these
not a
villains
lesser of the
things.
two evils. It's just
Yeah, there's just.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to get into that.
But yeah, so
Semantics.
moral of the story: Joker is stop making Joker a thing. He's not going to be a thing. That's it. If you want,
He's a big thing.
No, he's
He's
not.
a
gonna be
big thing.
He's a
sympathetic
big thing.
He's a big, but stop
But let
making him a sympathetic.
Put him to rest
thing.
for a second.
Stop making him sympathetic.
Movie-wise.
Thing.
Yeah, just let him be
and like there's
evil.
others, like I like how Gotham did it, splitting it up a little bit. Like okay, that's another good example of deviating, taking the Joker story and kind of deviating for it. If you've seen Gotham,
Yeah.
there's two Jokers in it, and they deviate from the story a lot, like most DC media does, because they can't use everything. But they do a good job of telling the Joker story in a couple different ways. There's just ways you could do this shit without making him a serial killer's dick writer's dreams.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Yeah.
I feel what you're saying, but I feel like people that have nothing to do with the movie, that are just watching the movie, shouldn't be an issue. Like, it shouldn't affect how good of the movie it is. Like, the movie was good. All those people that rallied behind it and like were like, this guy's a god and all this shit and truly believe in him, that shouldn't even be a factor on whether the movie's good or not.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
fair. And I
That's
never
fair.
said the original Joker movie was a bad movie. I feel the same way. Actually, I will compare them both as 5 or 6s.
Yeah.
Both of them are the same
See,
rating for me.
Yeah.
It's just the way people took the energy of the first movie is what's distasteful to me.
Yeah.
And again, the character itself is just not supposed to be
Yeah. So
a thing.
I know he's not, but it's
But I mean,
it's
like-
kind of just like a what if.
Yeah.
Anything, and I said that before. Like, to your point, I think that's true. And I did like the Joker movie, but I was like, I'm smart enough to be like, damn, that's crazy. I feel it.
Yeah.
No.
I dissociate
But, like-
from Joker.
But like, I don't I think what happens is like when people see the story or they see it like play out, they're like, well, if I went through that, then I would do the same thing. And like, it's just like, no. But yeah, I mean, I think like you do got to be careful when you like, you take the response of people and then blame the media for it, because people are going to do whatever the fuck they're going to do. Like it's like that's like the same shit that I was saying about with music, where they're like, people blame the artist for what their kids do listening to the songs when they shouldn't be listening to the songs. Like it's just there's a people like you can't control, like who was it that somebody brought up how The Catcher in the Rye made fucking somebody try to kill John Lennon.
That was on the last episode. I think it was Jalir.
Yeah, like what in this book made you get that?
Yeah.
Like
Also, the Beatles song "Helter Skelter" had nothing to do with what Charles Manson thought that song had to do with, and he created a whole fucked up situation built off of listening to the song "Helter Skelter."
Yeah, I think it's just important to know that people interpret things differently.
I was about to say, it's like the same argument as video games make you violent.
yeah.
It's just some people are just gonna be a bad apple.
I'm gonna be so violent when
We're gonna
Dragon
have
Ball
a
Zero
couple
comes
bad
out.
But I will say,
Man,
like,
hit the shit out of y'all.
things do push you into doing something.
Yeah. People around you will
Yeah.
push you into doing it. That's for sure. I don't know. I liked the first Joker movie, but I just liked it because
the
the message about mental health.
Yeah,
I think mental health is a huge
Yeah.
thing that a lot of people like to just skate over, and I think it was just an extreme movie about what can happen when mental health goes unchecked.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
I
how I
think
take a look at it.
That is what I got from it, and
Me
that
too.
was why I liked it. But like that, and that point is valid. Is just like people take it too far.
That should be
Like-
the biggest message of the film.
Yeah, and that my take from it is not you don't be that person.
yeah.
My message
Get
that I
help.
take from that
Make
is
different
to help
choices.
stop
Yes,
from that
like
person
you-
being creative.
when you
Don't make
see
those
it
same
happening.
I'm not
do
saying like
something.
I don't think that movie is for people with mental health. It is for you to recognize those around you with mental health and try to do something to help them.
That's a really good point.
And I think that's what I think a lot of these things are for. It's not to glorify these actions in which they're committing. It is so that you can notice these actions, and then you take action on
Yes.
making and correcting these actions.
That's a great way
A
to
lot
put
of
it.
actions being said right there. So I like, movies with messages, and I'm going to segue into the next movie, which this one's just a little guy from me. So I'm the only one who's seen it. Beautiful message of a movie. It's called The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot. I'm the only one who's seen it so far.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep it very quick, very
I'm
light.
this weekend.
Very quick. You should. Very quick, very light, and then we're going to go into a movie called The Substance after. But similar movies.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna lie to you real quick. I've been marketing The Substance as if it was The Wild Robot. And I've been telling, like, I told my grandma to go see The Substance, but I was like, yeah, it's a really good movie about, love and family and shit like that. She's like, it sounds great. And I'm like, yeah, it's called The Substance. So, sorry, grandma.
You are a diabolical fiend.
I'm bored lately. But anyway, so The Wild Robot, I've got bullet points on the movie because I want to promote it properly. You know what I'm saying? So The Wild Robot, written by Peter Brown. It's based off a 3-book series, children's book. It is directed by Chris Sanders. Now, he's known for Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. So the director of 2 absolute fucking bangers. Okay. All right. DreamWorks animated film. So solid animation. It looks gorgeous. I loved every second of it. It's very beautiful. We've got Lupita.
Nyong'o.
Thank you. Nyong'o. She's Roz, the robot. Pedro Pascal is Fink, the fox. And then you have Kit Connor. I don't know him.
He's from Heartstopper.
He's
one that
Bright Bill.
He's a little gay boy.
He's Bright Bill. He's the goose. And the movie is phenomenal. Okay. It is fantastic. It is a 10 out of 10. If you are a parent, it is for you, not just your kids. I'm not a parent, but I enjoyed every second of it because I did understand the messages and everything that was sent. And it's basically just about a robot who was being shipped off to, a city to be sold. And the shipment gets hit by a typhoon and the robot washes up on an island. And it is just a task robot where it gets a task and it has to complete the task. And it won't stop until it completes the task. And She washes up on shore. She gets knocked out of the box by a couple of beavers who were a little interested in the box. So they went to
Beaver box.
Exactly. They had some jokes in here where I was like, that was dark as fuck. Like, I'll say one and that's it. But not right now. I'm gonna go more. And so she gets out of the box and she immediately thinks, she's a robot. So she's like, oh, I'm where I needed to be. So she starts going around the island like, who needs a task? But they're all animals, so they don't speak to her. She can't speak to them. So they all end up just like either beating the shit out of her or like running away from her. And there's one moment there, they do a very good job at making you feel bad after immediately laughing. So like there's a moment where she's adapting to the wildlife around her, which is also extremely interesting to watch. So like you see her running into different animals, and like she's like a skunk blows fucking the fart dust on her, and she's like, the fuck was that? And then she learns and then does it herself. And she explains later on in the movie how she does it.
Oh, okay.
And it's very interesting. And then she sees like a gazelle running. And then she's like, hi, you need any help with anything? And it's like, the fuck? And then it starts running faster. And then she starts running like the gazelle and keeping up with it. And then all of a sudden it kicks her in the face. Like, get the fuck away from me, bro. And then she gets depressed because now nobody wants to test. That's where I was like, it was funny that it kicked her in the face. But then she literally like put her head in her body and was just like sad. And then that's when she realized she can't speak to the animals. So then she adapts. She has the ability to adapt to whatever's around her. So she sits there and she just watches the animals. So they do like a quick speed, and she adapts and listens to what they are saying, and then programs in her body, oh, this chirp means this. And so as she sing it, you slowly hear them talk. So like they adapt from like chirping like a bird to talking like a human. So it shows you how she understands them finally. But like in the process, it'll be like a couple words, then a couple chirps, couple words. So like she's slowly getting the hang of it. So the way that they do that is fucking insane and so good. And it's smart, because in a lot of movies, somebody will be brought back from like the dead from 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 years ago. And they already know English. They're already pretty much good to go. They're already fine.
The Jungle Book, they just automatically talk.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so they did it in a very creative way of how she understands them. And I thought that was very smart. But the movie is about so much, and it's about even if you're the runt of the litter, does not mean that you are any less than anyone else around you. That plays a big part. It's about being a parent. It has no instructions. There's no instructions on being a parent. You can write as many books as you want. That don't mean shit. Okay, because every kid is different. Yep. So it's beautiful. It's about how people who lash out and attack others just want to be loved. They are just sad because they never had that before, and they're mad at the world because they didn't have it. It is a beautiful fucking movie. And like I tell everybody, and I don't care, I cried the whole second half of the movie. Whole second half of the movie, tears just streaming down my face as I'm watching it. And I was like, nah, I'm done crying. I was like, I'm at a part where I was like, all right, I think I'm good to go now. And then I was like, nope, you're fucking me up. You're fucking me up. But there's a scene because she adopts a gooseling, a little goose baby, and she runs into a possum with all her babies. And it's fucking hilarious because they're all, baby possums attached to the mom when she walks. And so they see the robot, they all play dead. And the robot's like, you guys all right? You need a task? And they're like, oh, all right, well, she's not that bad, actually. So they end up talking to her, and the mom of the possum's like, she's like, are you guys even mine? And they're like, yeah. They're like, yeah, that was the other run, dude. We're the new litter, dude. And she's like, all right, whatever, dude. And so the mom of the possum's kind of explaining how to be a mother to the robot. She's like, there's no, this is difficult, this, that, and the other. Like, a lot of shit can happen. She goes, I've got 7 kids. And then all you hear is, and then she goes, 6 kids. And I was like,
no. Oh my God.
Oh no! I was like, dog, this is a kids movie?
Oh no.
And then what fucking tops it off is after that scene, the little fucking possum comes crawling up the hill. And she's like, Mom, I made it. She's like, I'm okay. And the mom goes, oh, great.
Yeah.
So upset about it.
Oh God.
Bro, the movie is so fucking good and so funny. It is my favorite movie I've seen all year. I give it a 10 out of fucking 10. It's got a 98% last time I checked on Rotten Tomatoes for critic and audience. I think it should win movie of the year. But if anything, it'll win animated movie of the year. But it tops any movie that was made this year. I don't care what anybody says. That movie tops. And there were like 3 moments in this movie where it could have ended, and I would have been like, perfect movie. Mm-hmm. But even after, when it ended, I was still like, perfect fucking movie.
Let me say, they like in the same boat as like Transformers and Dungeons and Dragons. I'm just saying that they had awful marketing.
Awful marketing.
Because,
awful marketing.
dude, I've seen the trailer for it so many times, and I've seen it everywhere so many times, and none of it made me say, oh, I gotta go see this movie. None of it, because every single thing I was just a robot with animated creatures. They didn't say anything about the thing, and then I was watching like I saw the trailer with my friend on a commercial, and it said #1 movie. My friend's like, what the fuck? I've never even heard of this movie. What do they mean #1 movie? What the fuck? And I'm sitting there, yeah, but now I'm going to go see it. After you just
I think
said
they're
that.
counting on. I think lately a lot of movies have been counting on people like Nick, like what's happening with Transformers one right now, where word of mouth is really pushing some of these movies.
I don't think they were counting on
movies.
that kid, bro.
Yeah.
That
No,
kid came out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
the one
bro, I see him on
posted
everyone's
everything,
post,
yeah.
bro.
Good for him though.
Yeah.
They
Someone
probably
had-
get hired. They should hire him for.
They called him out. They called them out. They had like a Q&A or whatnot, the directors at some theater, and they said, hey, do you know about that? And they're like, yeah, we're aware of the guy. We appreciate that. That's cool of him. So
I think they should put him in the fucking
I think
second
also
one to
this
get
comes down to Hollywood. Like, why make animated movies if y'all don't believe in this shit? Don't believe to promote. Don't believe to push it through.
I feel like
Same thing with superhero movies, like how superheroes don't get nominated for certain shit or don't
Yeah.
get certain shit. Why create or push or allow these situations to be nominated or created if you don't believe in them? You hear what's happening with Cartoon Network right now and Warner Brothers Studios, that they don't believe in animation as a
Studios don't believe in anything.
like, that's so true.
Facts.
Why? But like, it makes me mad. Like, why waste the money and the talent and the star power
That's all their.
if
that's
you
their
don't
whole job.
push it
Yeah.
through?
The studio's
It's
whole
so
job is to waste
disappointing.
money.
Yeah. If you guys want to go see The Wild Robot this weekend, I'm down.
Yeah, I might go see it.
I would like to see it again.
You would like to see it again?
A couple more times.
Yeah.
I love The Wild. The movie is so fucking good. The movie's so fucking good.
Stop making a child movie horny.
I believe you.
It's not a horny movie.
You want to go see it?
It's so good.
wanna
It's a
see it,
dark
Danny?
movie.
You want to see it? Yeah.
It's a dark movie. There is some blood in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah. Comes from an animal.
I was about to
Robot?
say.
Robots don't bleed.
No, it comes from an animal. It was we were learning the cycle, the
tiger?
circle of life.
Oh, there's some babies.
No.
What?
Murder.
Murder.
Well,
Not
animals do
baby,
it.
murder.
They murder.
You see
They
a
rape, they do everything.
decapitation. Actually, something gets murdered in the middle of it, right in the beginning of the movie. It was hilarious.
You know, I went down a rabbit hole of watching
Your hair looks fine.
some guy who he's like he like talks about animals, and he like it basically informs you about animals, and like he makes a bunch of different videos. Like he ruined I watched one earlier where he was ruining rabbits, like, and he was saying all the bad shit that rabbits do, which rabbits
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
fun that you said it, because the rabbits in this movie are dicks.
bro, rabbits.
They're dicks.
He was saying that how the dads will kill their children, the moms will kill their children for almost any reason, and rabbits eat their own poop.
Yeah, no, literally one of the rabbits.
Like some hamster
they were in like a
shit.
big battle.
Did you say gangster shit?
It's like hamster.
Oh, I'm
shit.
gangster shit.
Gangster shit too.
Dude, that's
but the rabbits were the most fucking unhinged in this movie. Like there was a robot, because again, multiple robots. There's a shipment of robots washed up on shore, and one of the rabbits was like, let's divide the robot meat amongst ourselves. And I was like, first off, not meat, metal, but okay. And it's just a little guy, and he's screaming. There's it was a very subtle moment where something dramatic happened, and the little rabbit just screamed some unhinged shit, and I'm like, did nobody catch my little man's being absolutely fucking demonic?
I still love it.
And no, The Wild Robot, 10 out of fucking 10.
I gotta see
Would
that.
see about
wanna see
10
that.
more
Yeah.
times.
Hell yeah.
If anyone's going, let me know, because I want to go again. But yeah, so that's my little movie.
You guys want to go and then go to the Korean pub after?
The fuck is
Pub?
a Korean
The
pub?
Korean pub. I've showed you guys that Korean restaurant in Clausen.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Where is
So
Okay.
we can go. But now we'll get into the movie that me and Michael seen this
I'm
weekend.
excited to hear about this.
The
Yeah, I am
Substance.
too. I love Demi Moore.
I got my bullet points.
Not
I'll
the
go over.
notes.
I want to go over the details of the movies first. Give credits when credits are due.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I did for the one for the Wild Robot. The Substance, written and directed by Coralie. I don't know. Who? Coralie, but she's French. Coralie. You help me. You know words.
The Substance.
Yep.
I would say Coralie.
Coralie Fargeet.
Poorly?
I think it's Coralie.
Yeah, it is Coralie.
Coralie. How do you say the last name?
Let me see it.
I said
Forget.
it's French though, so I know I'm wrong.
Fargo.
Fargo. Thank you. I was about to say it's French, so help me. But it's starring Demi Moore, Dennis Quaid, and Margaret Qualley.
Thatcher.
No, not Thatcher.
No.
But yeah, and also real quick shout out to the cinematographer of this movie, Benjamin Kraken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice. Shout out, Ben.
Substance. Yeah. Well, there's a
Well-
reason for that.
So I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown of this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before you go into it, the only thing that I've heard about it is a phenomenal horror movie, but holy shit, is it disgusting. Go on.
Someone called it a mix between Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and Showgirls.
Huh?
I don't think it fits any of those descriptions. Either it doesn't fit. Doesn't fit either of those descriptions. You will if
I was actually excited. I was like, "Oh, Showgirls!"
if it does.
Like a horror Showgirls. That sounds dope.
If it does, you will know from my breakdown.
You're gonna break down the movie, right?
Yes.
When did you
Down,
come into the
down.
movie though?
Oh, you were late.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I'm always late to the movies.
Yeah. Was it the dinner table scene, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so right before that, I'll just give the synopsis real quick before that one. Demi Moore's character is a fitness instructor on TV, kind of like what's his face was.
Tybo.
Oh,
No.
I was gonna go Richard
Simmons.
Simmons,
Yeah.
the most famous of them all.
Tybo
And,
wasn't the most famous.
No, Richard Simmons, bro. I don't even know who Tybo
Double
is.
time, go.
Wes, yeah, Bob.
Wes is in the background.
I
My
like
mom
that.
used to work out to Tybo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro, everybody
she
did.
did. I don't know what he looks like.
I only know about the
Sexy.
biggest
He's a
people.
he's a
Yeah.
bald black muscle Eminem.
And then there was P90X with what's
Milk
his
Dud.
name?
Yeah. But so the movie starts out with her and you're like seeing her video basically, like her recording her episode and shit like that. And successful episode. She's like, all right, everybody, good job, this, that, and the other. And she's like, all right, that's it for the day. And so she leaves and she exits the recording studio, the one that Sue was in originally, and then she goes down that long hallway that Sue was always in, except in the hallway it's pictures of Demi Moore's character on the walls because she's the one selling shit. And she's like, I gotta go fucking piss. So she's like, she goes to go in the women's bathroom, closed. So she's like, fuck this, I'm going to the men's bathroom, I gotta piss. So she goes in there, and in these bathrooms there's no cracks in the doorways. You have your own personal room to piss in. Dennis Quaid's character comes in, he's the CEO of the company. And he decides to piss in the urinal. And the way they have the camera, the reason I shouted out the cinematographer is the fucking shots in this movie are insane. So he's at the urinal, and basically just imagine the camera on the little fucking thing that's in front of you, that little silver thing. That's where the camera's at. And all you see is like here and like here. But it also like fisheye in the background. So the background is like wide, and you just fucking fisheye his face, and it's just him talking shit about Demi Moore's character.
Oh shit.
She's old, she's useless, she's not selling, she's not sexy. And they're like, well, you know, she's in a contract. He's like, we're gonna break contract. She's too old, she's useless. And he's just going in on her. And he goes, don't worry about it, you know, we'll figure it out. And then he leaves, and then she comes out of the toilet, and she's like, fuck. And then
Yeah, so they're sitting at a dinner table. Mind you, aside from the like cinematography, the cinematography itself is like weird, but like the way it's shot is like kind of weird, but the sound design, like if you're autistic, this is gonna fuck with you. Like it's like ASMR throughout the whole thing. Like you can hear, like not good. Like
Not in a good way.
not in a good way. Like I'm saying, like so. For example, right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking, so you can hear my voice, but then like I scratch right here, and you can hear the scratching,
Oh shit.
and then like you can hear me scratching myself. Like I rub.
Intentionally.
Yeah, yes, like
Yes.
everything, like you can tell, like I don't know if you could tell, but because like I know like music and sound, I could tell that some of the sounds weren't even that. That's not like they inserted that sound.
in there. Okay.
Like so you like they were doing it like so like if you're doing this, like you can hear the rubbing, like things that like you wouldn't be able to hear normally. They amplified
It's
everything.
like hyper focus.
Yes, it's like oh, it was overstimulating for me. Like it was like I was like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Like it was like uncomfortable.
My girl said she
Especially-
wanted to leave during the
Yeah,
day.
especially because like during that part. So when you come in, or when I came in, it's her and Dennis Quaid like sitting at the table, and they're like having a meeting, and he is eating shrimp and like dipping it into like eating it sloppy as fuck, like shit's all over his hands, so you can hear the slopping, you can hear him dipping the shrimp into the bowl, like you can hear the fucking liquid, then he fucking chews it, you can hear it chewing, it closes up on his mouth, like it's like gross, and basically he's firing her. And
Oh God.
yeah, and then she like asked why or something like that, and I don't know, he saw someone, got up and left, and yeah, and left her with the bill.
Oh shit! Fired her and then left her.
Yeah.
with the bill.
Why
So
you
then
firing me?
She was leaving. And as she was driving, she saw like they were taking down her billboard, and like she was looking up like that, ran a light and got T-boned, ended up in the hospital somehow with no injuries. It hit her on her side, and she's driving a fucking like little red car, bro. And anyway, so I was like, but so she has no injuries.
Trust me, that's the least.
That's the least.
unbelievable part
Honestly,
of
that's
this
the
movie.
least. That's the least of it. So, and I'm gonna go through the whole thing.
I'm here for it,
You don't even got to watch the movie,
but you should.
but you should.
Okay.
I think I will. I'm not gonna lie.
So, she's in the hospital. The doctor's talking to her and like, oh wow, no injuries, not even a fracture. You're absolutely fine, and blah 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 blah. So he's in there with the nurse. That he's like, she's depressed, obviously, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, my wife is a big fan, and she just doesn't say anything, and then she starts crying, and
Demi Moore.
yes, and then he's like, oh, that's a emergency, I gotta go. But the nurse he has a nurse with him, and the nurse is like some weird, handsome Squidward looking ass nigga. And they walk out. Then the nurse comes back, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, there's one more thing we have to do. And she was like, what? The doctor just said I was fine. And he's like, no, there's one more test. And then he like presses on her spine. And then she's like, is everything okay? And he's like, yeah, you're a perfect subject. And then he hands her jacket, and he's like we look forward to hearing from you, or something like that. Like I hope everything works out for you, or something like that. And she's leaving, and then she realizes he put a card in her jacket, and it was like something about the substance. And as she was leaving, after she sees the card, she runs into some guy that she knew from high school, and the guy is like fucking weird dork, bro. But he was nice. He's like, oh my god, what's her character's name? You remember?
I want to say it was
it Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. Yeah, because at the end of the movie, we called the thing at the end of the movie Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Eliza-Sue. It was Eliza-Sue.
Yeah. So it was
The thing at the end.
Yeah, he was like, Lizzie? He was like, Lizzie, oh my God, you're still the most beautiful girl in the world. Like, I can't believe it. And she was like, oh, hey. Like, you could tell she wasn't feeling it. And then he was like, oh, well, we got to go out to dinner now that we're reconnected. I was, after 2 seconds. And she was like, yeah, well, why don't you give me your number? And like whatever. And then he like drops his paper in the dirt or some shit or in the mud.
In a puddle.
Yeah, and then like
still picks
it up and gives her number, gives him her number or whatever. So she goes home and she goes home and she is like looking at that at the card, because like she's obviously like insecure and shit because she lost her career because she's old. And I think she like, didn't she get drunk or something? She like threw a cup at her picture.
She was getting drunk, but the guy wrote a note with the card and it said it changed my life.
Yeah, yep, that's what it was. He wrote on it.
The nurse guy, yeah.
He wrote it changed my life on the card. And so like she's like going back and forth, and then she ends up calling. And then she calls the number on there. She goes and gets like, the guy gives her some address to go like pick the stuff up from. Mind you, she never paid for this shit. So like why do they give you this? But anyway, so he gives her the address. The address is like in LA in like a back alley, and the address is like written on above a steel door with like spray paint. It just says like 317 in black. I'm like, how the fuck did she even find this? But so she goes to like, the card was like an ID card or something like that. They mail her ID card and she scans it. The door only lifts up like this much, so she has to like duck under it. And then it has a number on it. She goes into this little weird catacomb, and then there's like this like pure bright white room with like drawers all across the room. And she taps her ID on the number that was hers, gets out the package, and it's the substance. So there was an activator, an equalizer or stabilizer, and food. And she's like, what the fuck is this shit? And then there was cards with each one. It's like, you activate once, you stabilize every day. The food was like main self, other self. And then there was a card at the end and said, remember, you are one. And then it said you have to switch every 7 days without fail. Like, you have to switch every 7 days. And then, like, well, obviously, you don't know what the fuck that means. So, Demi goes in the bathroom. She's naked.
Yes.
A lot of nudity in this
A lot of
movie.
nudity.
A lot of sex.
Yes.
You are super excited for Demi Moore nude.
Yeah,
Have you seen Demi Moore?
I've seen her nude.
Like, I'm, quite. And
Jump shot?
no. Limp
Quite a
wrist.
baller.
Jordan.
That's a good flick.
It is. Go on.
But I
don't. This movie is interesting because it looked. I don't know if that was her real face in this movie
What?
because it looked like it had decent amount of plastic surgery.
It does. Maybe she did.
I don't know if they did it for the movie or because she doesn't really look like that in real life.
I get what you
I
mean. Yeah, she probably
Yeah.
like
Yeah, because
it's probably the lighting.
It looked like because I thought they were doing it for her character because of how insecure she was that she was trying to stay young.
No, I think that
No,
that was.
that's
I
all.
think that was her. But she's naked, big nipples,
Oh,
I guess that's a yes.
and so
He didn't say no,
she's
guys.
standing there, and then she's like says whatever fuck. She injects herself with this activator.
She does it like heroin.
Yeah, she does it like heroin. She like with the rubber band. So she's sitting there, nothing happens. Then all of a sudden she gets hit like a fucking brick, and she gets dizzy as fuck, hits the fucking ground, smacks that bitch, nigga, like she boop, like no breaking the like blop, like full dead weight hit the ground. And then her back splits open and a new younger version of her comes out of her back.
just like that one thing from VHS. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so this younger version of her comes out of her back and already knows what to do. It's not really clear if they that they're technically the same person, but you can't tell if they really share a consciousness or not. Like they like to an extent, I think they share a consciousness, but they have different personalities to an extent. Cause like whatever. So she comes out, she like sews up her back.
Which you see in those
Which
very
you
close
see.
camera angles.
Yeah, which you
very
see.
close.
And then she like plugs up the food with like a needle to like the real her, and that shit is lasts for 7 days. So the younger version comes out, she's fine, and she immediately goes to get the job that Demi just lost
That
because they
was-
put out a paper.
That was why she threw that glass, because that ad was
yeah,
in the paper.
yeah, because they were replacing her. So the younger version called herself Sue, and she went to go take this job, instantly got it. Everything's fine. And then she told them that, I have to take off every other week because I got to take care of my mom. And then Dennis Quaid was like, I don't care what you got to do. We want you. And then she's like, okay. So then they switch. But like when they switch, Demi Moore's character like gets jealous. That's why I said like it's like not really clear how their mind works in this situation, because like that's you. Why are you jealous of you? But regardless, like, so she's jealous of the other one, and she starts like doing coping things or whatever to like make up for it. Like she starts trying to figure out ways to like just deal with herself. So then they switch again, and like shit starts to pick up for the younger one, and then she ends up going out, and she stays out over the 7-day period by like a few hours. So when she stays out over that period, she like gets dizzy, like her nose starts to bleed. Like that's what happens if you don't stabilize. That's why you're supposed to stabilize every day. Like her ears start bleeding, her nose starts bleeding, like this bitch is gonna die. And
real quick, because I think the stabilizer, I think it's good to explain what the stabilizer is.
It's spinal fluid.
Yes. So she has to drain spinal fluid every day. Well, not every day.
Out of the original.
Titan shit.
So you gotta drain this in there. They goes in like little shots, and you just take. Yeah.
Yeah, she was sticking this fat ass needle in her back.
And then every day you just have to take a stabilizer shot to your knee, and then that allows you to stay in that body, in that world.
But so she stayed over by a little bit, and then she just went back to switch when she started like feeling weird or whatever. And Demi woke up and realized that her finger turned to like an old lady finger, like this whole finger turned like hideous. And that's what happens if you go past the time. So she called the number that part was funny. That part was always funny. They called the number that like of the people that, or the guy that gave him the substance or whatever, and he's just like, hello. Like he just like doesn't have time for this shit. And she's like, she stayed out past her time, and like now my finger's all fucked up. And he's like, there is no she, you are one. And she's like, well, it like, what do I do? Like, how do I reverse this? And he said, what's taken from one end cannot be returned on the other end. And she's like, okay, well, whatever. Like, so she hangs up. Then she starts like, she doesn't want to leave the house because feels so ugly now, more ugly than she felt before. And then she ends up calling that guy that like gave her his number in the beginning. Like the
dude
guy
that she met
from high school.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And because she remembered that guy told her like she was like the prettiest girl ever in the world or whatever, and like it was like cute. And then he was like, oh my God, like, I cannot believe you're calling me. Like, he was super hype about the call. So then she's like, oh, well, we can go out to get drinks or something, blah, blah, blah. So she's getting ready. Then she leaves. And then as she was leaving, she sees the billboard of the younger one and starts to get insecure. So then she goes back, tries to change her outfit. Then she's like starting to leave again. Then she like sees her reflection. Then she has like a whole mental fucking breakdown. She just says, fuck it. And she just like, she ghosts the guy. She stays home. She's eating fucking all this shit. And then she just switches with the girl. The girl wakes up and then she sees all the food that she's like, the mess that she made. So then like basically now these two are at odds, like the real her and the other her. And the young self like literally builds a fucking like room in the bathroom to put the body in. Cause like she was just leaving it on the floor in the bathroom. But like she built by herself like a secret room. I was like, super easy, barely an inconvenience. like bro, like she built it by herself and then put the body in there or whatever to hide it. So they're at odds. So then like the younger version keeps staying out later and later and then like fucking with Demi's character. So like she turns into like half her face turns into like an old lady. And she's like, what the fuck? So then she calls the guy and then she says the same. She's like, bro, she's not respecting the balance. And he's like, there is no she. You are one being. And she's like, well, what do you like? What am I supposed to do? She's like, the guy was like, there's nothing you can do. Like, you can't undo what's been done. But if you want to terminate, you can terminate. And she's like, well, if I terminate, will I go back to normal? And he's like, no, what's taken from one side cannot be returned on the other side. But if you want to terminate, you can do that. And she thought about it. And then she's like, no, I just want her to respect the balance. And he was like, then respect it, and hung up on her. And then so then whatever, like she does more shit or whatever. She starts watching an interview of the younger her. She starts like cooking and shit because the Dennis Quaid gave her a cookbook like as a parting gift. And she starts cooking and shit. She gets really bitter. Like she's like eating all this food, made a huge fucking mess. So then when they switch this time, the younger self comes out, sees the whole fucking apartment is covered in food and all kinds of shit. And she's like, oh, I can't fucking do this anymore or whatever. So she takes enough spinal fluid to stay out for 3 months. So she's like going through, like she's like building her career up, becoming like this huge celebrity, and she gets booked to do like the New Year's party for the company that she works for. Like, so it's a huge event. And she keeps coming back. They show her keep coming back to take the spinal fluid. So,
and you see how fucking infected it is.
Yeah, like, oh my God, it turns into like it becomes a infected like pus and shit. Like it's purple and bruising, and she sticks the needle in there anyway. It has like white pus and all kinds of shit, bro. So eventually, she has to switch. Like she's like forced to switch, like because she literally used all of the spinal fluid, and that was part of why you had to switch every 7 days, because like the person has to come to life for them to generate the spinal fluid. So the guy told her she has to switch, so she switches, and then Demi Moore like literally looks like a monster. Like she looks how a person would look if they were like 175 years old.
Has anyone here seen the movie 300?
Yeah.
You know the fucking reason they lost was that guy who was not perfect. He had that big hunchback, ugly as fuck. She looked just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hunchback.
Have you seen SpongeBob?
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Remember that old lady, like the grandma old lady that was like super saggy? Yeah, the chocolate lady.
Oh yeah.
That's how she looked.
Oh.
And so
She's fucking forever, grandma.
she said like, so she got mad. She said fuck it, and she tried to she like ordered the shit to terminate, and she was going through with it. She was like pushing it, like the fluid into her, and then she looked up and saw a card that said like everyone's gonna love you, and like it like triggered her insecurities, and she was like, oh, we can't stop this. You're the only thing that you're the part of me that people like.
I took that differently when she seen that, because again, like the message I was getting from the movie was different, where it's like the older generation is holding down the younger generation, like you're not going to replace me. And then I think she's seen the card and said everyone's going to love you, and so again, my interpretation of it was like she was like, why am I holding this person back? Because it's time for me to move on. Like that was my take from it. Was like,
well, no, she literally said you're the only part of me that people like.
Yeah,
like
but
she
I know,
said,
yeah, but
like,
that's the part of me when I seen her, like in my head, like that's what I thought she thought was like, I am stopping you from being successful because I'm jealous.
I don't think that part was a metaphor.
Yeah,
like
that's how I took it though.
I think that like that was like, because the only reason she even did this was to hold on to her own shit. Like she was like trying to keep her own shit going. So,
Why did she start fucking with? Why did the younger person start fucking with the balance in the first place?
Because
she was just having too much fun.
Because she's young. Like that's what I was like.
Older one was bitter about it.
Older one was bitter, but the younger one is the one that started fucking with the balance.
So why did she start? Was she just having too much fun? And just didn't care?
Yeah. So the younger one was like staying. The younger one was staying out, and like she was. Yeah. So she was having too much fun, but I interpreted that as like because she's young. That's why I said like
immaturity. Okay.
But also
and not understanding the consequences. Really.
Yes. And
first
I think
time was over sex.
Yeah. So but I mean, she said that even before she left. She said like, I'll be back. Like I might be a little bit late or whatever. Like she said that,
but she came back with him.
Yeah,
and like that's when for me I was like, bitch, don't bring him in the house. Like you have to
you're
switch.
stupid as fuck.
And that's when she did that first because she took stabilizers for the one day, and she was like, just this one time. And then that's when they switched, and she had that old lady finger. Yeah, and that's when Demi Moore's character was like, this bitch.
Yeah, so she did that because like, and I think that's part of the message. I think that's part of the message, or like what part of it, why he was saying like, you remember you are one being, and like you are like you can't give back like what's been taken on one side. So that's like a metaphor, because like the shit that you do, like when you're young, you do some shit when you're 15, that shit that will affect you when you're 50, you can't undo that. Like it's going to affect you forever. And that's why he told her like, respect the balance. Like you're the same person, respect it. Cause like, if that's the case, if they do share a consciousness or whatever, then it's still her that's trying to revel in that youth when she's in the other body.
Very true.
Like, so regardless though, so they wake up, she ends up fighting with the younger version. The younger version fucking kills her. Now she's the original one, forgetting that you are one being, so now there's nothing holding you to life. So she goes to like the New Year's event, and she's like falling apart. Like her body she starts like pulling out her teeth. Like you can see the whole tooth, like the sharp part.
Yeah.
Like pulls out her whole tooth, her fucking ear falls off because she's wearing a heavy earring. So she's like
rips her nails off.
She starts freaking out. She goes back to the room because she's retarded and only realized.
I have to bleep it.
Sorry, she forgets that like the activator says you can only use it once. But she's like, well, I can use that and I'll just get a younger version of myself. The bitch goes home, uses an activator, turns into a Cronenberg thing. Like, remember the first episode of Rick and Morty? The very first one when like Rick accidentally like turns everyone in the planet into monsters, like with that serum that makes people fall in love with Morty. And then he tries to correct it.
Yeah.
And then they all turn into weird monsters. That's exactly what she was.
Yeah. And for you... Ugly as fuck. Even more of a hunchback.
No, it's
just
like a
random
literal
titty
monster.
over here.
Like
some teeth
random
right here.
Demi Moore's faces on the back.
Yeah. Voldemort and that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Just
imagining
a
an
giant
episode of
tumor.
Big
It's just a
Mouth,
giant walking
where
Yeah.
they create the perfect woman for the guy.
I've never watched Big Mouth.
You guys never watched Big Mouth?
Is it hideous?
It's very hideous.
Yeah, so basically the same thing, and she thinks she's pretty as fuck.
She literally cuts out a picture of like the original picture of Demi Moore, like that poster, and tapes it to her face, and then puts lipstick on it.
Bro, not only that,
She
puts
puts
earrings in,
but she doesn't have ears.
so she just jams the needle into her head, and then has one string of hair and
And
goes
then
to curl it,
curls
and
it.
just rips it right out.
And then she walks back to this thing, goes up on the stage, and she like
Let him cook though, but let him cook though. This is gonna sound super offensive, but this is literally how she sounds. So let him
she's
cook.
like, thank you so much for letting me be in.
That's how she sounds.
And everyone's just like, because mind you, she still has this.
Does
thing on
she
her
even
face.
look like human?
No.
No.
Wow.
So she's like, hey, Happy New Year. And then the fucking thing falls off, and everyone's like, because this is where the shit goes left, bro. When she turns into the Cronenberg, that's where shit goes left.
I love it though.
But it gets worse. It just goes like,
that's not the end?
Yeah,
No!
I thought that was the ending.
No!
I genuinely
No!
thought that was
it just
like
goes,
a Carrie type. ending.
"Pew!" Like, bro.
I thought that was the end.
No!
It goes to Carrie and then beyond. Like,
Oh, yeah.
My God.
plunges.
Yeah.
So
Oh no.
the thing falls off, and everyone's like, they all gasped, they all freaked out. And she fucking,
Oh.
they're like, they all start freaking out, and they're like, a lady starts screaming. She's like, ah, ah, and then everyone's like, monster. They start pushing her. Some dudes run up on stage. They're like, monster, freak, monster. And she's like, damn it, kill me.
Literally
And then
how she sounds.
that's literally how she sounds, bro. And then there's like a mouth over here, and the mouth throws up a boob,
Oh yeah, whole ass titty. She
and
was
then
hilarious.
it starts like spewing blood. So then
I think her arm got cut off.
yeah, her arm fell off or something like that. So she's just spewing blood for literally 2 minutes straight. It's a 2 minute straight montage of the room being covered in blood from
So
her
good.
arm wound. Covers everybody. Everybody's
dude.
falling. Everybody's falling. She leaves the room. It's like the hallway that they were showing before in the studio is sprayed all. It's blood all over the wall. All kinds of shit. She leaves. So she starts walking,
Home.
and then just explodes. Literally, she's walking home, just
Wow.
explodes. And then the part that had Demi Moore's face on it, which is like obviously the original face, turns into like a little meat wad, and it's just facing up like that. And then it starts crawling, and it crawls to her Hollywood star, and she's like looking up like that, and she's just seeing sparkles because her name was Elizabeth Sparkle, and she's just seeing sparkles and like hearing like cheers and shit like that, and then she disintegrates, and then there's just blood on the star, and then a guy with a street sweeper washes the blood off, and that's how the movie ends.
Damn.
Now, in all
Wow.
fairness, the movie started with them making the star
Yeah,
on the sidewalk,
but
and then over time, with time, it cracks. So it's like the aging.
mind you,
process.
also just to circle back real quick, during the fight, it was like a Mortal Kombat fight.
Fucking
And, like, the younger version of her kicked her. So imagine like there's like a ledge right here. She kicked her from here, like through that wall, like
yes.
and onto a
Ah.
table, and
They were running down that
it
hallway
was just
too.
ridiculous. The whole thing was
So
ridiculous.
fucking good.
But the messages were like solid, but it was like
think I gotta
obvious
watch
what
it.
the messages were. You didn't even have like I don't know why they
There
did
was
all.
no.
I don't even know why they did that because like bro, the ending was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was
Like
I
it could
loved
have
it.
stopped at.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think they
Yeah,
made the ending for me. So
For people like you, who
because
need it.
I was
Fucking
watching, I was eating it the
Veronica-ass
fuck up. I
ending,
was
bro.
like,
Yeah.
bleed on all the people with your one titty hanging out of the dress.
Did Demi Moore play both parts?
No.
No,
Okay.
it was that Margaret Qualley girl.
Oh, okay.
And I think, like you said, there's a lot of messages because like they showed you how they treat older women in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then with Margaret, they showed you how they treated younger girls in Hollywood.
Ooh,
And the
yeah.
executive would always come up, like when he said, and she's like, I have to have a week off. Like he looked up to her, he goes, that's fine. He goes, with somebody like you know, you could take care of whoever you want. It doesn't matter. It's you. And then it's like, calm the fuck down, bro.
Okay.
And there's a scene when she's falling apart where the bunch of him and the executives, the investors, are all behind him, and they meet her in this hallway on the New Year's Eve party thing, and they're emphasized, they're all like towering over her, looking at her, and he's like, "Oh, you're so pretty, you're gonna do great. Go ahead and smile. Pretty girl's got to smile. Pretty girl's got to smile. Smile for us, pretty girl." And she's just like, because she ain't got no teeth at this point. So she, yeah, but it shows you how fucking creepy and just
are.
terrible the old executives are to the younger women,
Actually,
and how
sounds like a fun
trash
con-
they are to the elderly women.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it is a really good movie.
I would-
until you get to
I
the
would
last
enjoy it.
20 minutes, then it becomes
Especially, like-
Veronica, where you have me,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, yes,
Yeah.
it's solid.
Murder, torture,
Yeah.
rape.
The messages were good though. Like the messages about health, the messages about time, the message about taking care of yourself, like all of that shit. It's all like a metaphor and like representative of this thing. Like when he was saying like you are one, and like how, you know, like what's taken on one side can't be returned on the other side. Like you can't undo the things that you do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so no matter what, like you do have to respect, there is a balance.
Yeah.
Like there is, no matter what, there is a balance. Because like if you think about it, I like the message and I like that shit, because sometimes I think about stuff where I'm like, what I do today might not benefit me today, but it'll benefit me in like 2 weeks. And I might not even remember it, but then when it hits in 2 weeks, I'll remember that version of me from 2 weeks ago did this.
Right.
You know, like that's like, it sounds like a weird concept, but that is real. Like that's real. Like, you know, that's like, and every part of life works like that. Like some part of you from before, like there was a version of me that was desperate in the moment and fucked up my credit, not thinking about it. And now there's a version of me today that has to undo what that person did.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, so there was like a psychiatrist that I've heard from, and he said something about that. He was talking about why it's so hard for people to be consistent. And he was saying how it's because it's not like it's you. It's every single day you're waking up as a different version of yourself. So it's like you have to, each version of your, like you might be motivated this day, but then you wake up 3 days from now and you're a different person. So like you're not making the same decisions as the version of you from 3 days ago. That's what makes it so hard. But like that's, when you think about it like that is real. Like, you know, like that whole like YOLO thing and like all the shit that like people do, it does catch up to you. So that was the message was good, but the Veronica was not.
The dismount.
The dismount. Oh my fucking God.
Dismount. So yeah, but we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
We're at an hour 50.
It was a good
Yep.
Bebop movie night.
God damn, that was long.
So go see Joker to your own discretion if you want to. Definitely go see Wild Robot. You will not be wasting
gonna
your
go see
time
that
or
one.
money.
I'm gonna see.
And I do say go see Substance as well, because
Yeah, I'm gonna see.
it is an interesting and fun watch. It will test your boundaries.
I'm gonna find a picture of the Cronenberg and I'm gonna make that
Please.
the
Yeah.
thumbnail.
Good idea. But yeah, so
Nick, do the thing.
see you Space Cowboys later. Now let's see who's Blue Chew kicked in.